done.
Right.
You know, especially once like California's done, if you can still vote, the polls are open, but it's like already, 80% of the people voted this way, so like it's done. But people are like, no, I still want to go make a difference. Like, you're not making a difference.
No.
You're clearly not making. It's done. So what difference are you making? And I was in New York once. There was an election in Connecticut, and came down to 6 votes, and they did a recount, some like local Congress or something. They did a recount, and it was 4 votes. They did a recount again, it was 4 votes. And then all my friends were like, see, there's one thing that matters. And I'm like, no. It does. Any one of those people could have switched over to the other side, and it would not have affected the outcome of that vote.
Yeah.
Even in that close an election. So I just don't care. I'm like, take care of it for me. Taxes, whatever. I don't know what they're doing. I don't really know why I'm voting for certain people. I know when Bill Clinton played saxophone on an Arsenio Hall show, he got a lot more voters. And it's like, I don't know. You kind of like something, but you don't know what they're going to do. I just don't care. I just stopped caring about politics completely. So Michelle Bachmann, I don't know. Yeah, she's crazy. What's her deal? What's she into?
She's just the whole, family values, no gay marriage.
They say that stuff, family values, but like, what do you mean by that?
Yeah.
Look at Sarah Palin. Family values, like your 18-year-old daughter got knocked up.
Raped and knocked up.
Yeah. Did she get raped?
Probably.
Maybe.
No, she talks about it like,
Really?
like she didn't want to. She doesn't call it rape. She specifically says, I'm not calling it rape.
Mm-hmm.
But she says
She
she didn't want to. She got fed a bunch of wine coolers and had no memory of that, but specifically says she didn't want to. And that was, she said her virginity was taken from her, but she refused to call it rape.
What a horrible way to lose your virginity.
I lost it like everybody else with a girl who was crying. I lasted 8 seconds.
Excellent.
Huh? I don't know. Michelle Obama, she won't win.
I hope not.
She'll be in the news for a while, and that's it. Obama's not losing. He possibly could, but nobody really wants to run against him.
Yeah, especially with the Osama thing. That probably swayed a lot of people.
People they killed him a long time ago. He was just, people hate that guy.
Yeah.
Obama. Osama bin Laden too, but. And they're like, he's just doing that to win an election. And I was like, if that was true, I'm willing to accept that. But if that was true, he should do it a year from now. A year from when he did it.
Yeah.
But right before the election started. Really get people on his side. Like, it's way too early. That sentiment will be gone by the time the election's around. It's going to be a year. It's like, people will sort of remember it, but not really. So I'm like, no, I don't believe he did that to win an election. Or he could have done it at any time. That's ridiculous.
Because like there was that picture on Google of Osama. It looked like he was dead, but I think it was just Photoshop.
Yeah, somebody else released it. It wasn't like the White House that released it.
Yeah.
And that kind of was like, wait, that is a Photoshop. What is it? But it was like, that was just a stock footage that all the news sources were using.
Oh, really?
Yeah, stock. But it wasn't him.
Oh.
It was somebody faked one. But that wasn't a White House release. I was wondering why they didn't release the photos and stuff.
Because that would be so...
It just gives air to like
yeah.
all these conspiracy theorists who I'm around all the time. Comics have nothing better to do than just think of possible, answers for things with no real backing.
That was great, that Joe Rogan tweet that he put out. It was right around, it was still like they were talking about how the ocean was radioactive because of the whole Japan thing.
Uh-huh.
And they dumped Osama in the sea, and it's like it's the start to
Godzilla.
the start of an awesome monster movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
That'd be
amazing. Flying.
Just goes and smashes the Chrysler building.
I felt weird after Osama bin Laden got killed. I was like, everyone's celebrating. There was a USA chants. People gathered around for like a little while, for like a day or two, gathered around the World Trade Center site, and they were all happy. But it was like, you guys, we didn't do anything.
No.
We just, 10 years later, this guy lived in like country club lifestyle for 10 years.
Apparently in a porn collection too.
Yeah, after killing thousands of people, organized, and it's like, so we got him 10 years late. Like, we're not ahead, we're still far behind. We've lost those World Trade Centers and the Pentagon. Got rebuilt, all these people died, and it's like, we're further back where we were. This isn't a happy moment. This is the end of a sad moment. Yeah, everyone was like so happy about it. I was like, I'm just not excited. Yeah, fine, yeah, we should have killed him. He's still trying to do horrible things. But I don't know why they didn't capture him either. That felt weird when they could have captured him, brought him to, but they're like, fuck it, just kill him. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what would have been done.
Such a spectacle on him.
I guess they didn't want that. Yeah, at first they said he was like he was using people as a human shield. I'm like, then why did he get killed?
Yeah.
Unless he was shooting back. But then they were like, no, well, I guess he didn't do that. And they're like, then why did he get killed?
Yeah.
And they were like, we ain't gonna capture him. We're just killing him and taking the body. But
Without showing a picture of it.
yeah, I sort of get it. They're like, why? We're killing him. We know who he is, what he did. But I don't know. It just seemed like that's right. If you could capture him, do that. I don't know.
I would too.
Yeah, I get both
Makes
ways.
more sense.
It's weird though. They're all gonna talk about like he's still alive. But like Osama was like, he's not. He will never be heard from again. You can trust. And they're not gonna say that if he's still out there somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
You know. I mean, maybe they have him alive and they're just gonna torture him for fucking 40 years. Maybe that. But then it's like, all right, don't tell me.
Cool. All right. Well, Ari, thank you so much for doing the interview.
You're welcome.
It was a pleasure.
Thanks.
Take it easy.
Find himself like closing with. And I do that too. Everybody does. He just like something that just fucking killed. You end up just closing with it. It's a good way to get off. Because I would take that bit once I realized I was closing with it a bunch, and I'd fucking open with it. And he goes, one, it would set the tone of like I want to be this high, this high like a level all the way through. And two, it would force me to like after I do my next bit, it would force me to like try to get that next second bit there. So he said he would like open like super strong and then just plummet. Just be like, so what else is in the news today? And people were so disappointed, and you feel this like need to fucking get close to that level. So he just punched everything up as fast as possible. Then he'd find another bit that was like killing. And then he would start to close with that and be like, oh, it's a closer, move it up. So he had like two closers to begin with. And then you have 3 and 4 and 5.
Wow.
And it would be a good like 30 minutes and then kind of death after that instead of like a good 5 minutes. And he goes, once he had like, I think everybody said 25 or 30 minutes, then he would go on the road to clubs. And he goes, I'm giving 25 killer new minutes, that's good enough. The rest is like okay, and then some shitty stuff. And I would go over an hour and do some like, you know, some brand new stuff. That was okay to charge him $30 at a club. And he goes, I would do theaters when I had like, started to have like an hour and I was fucking around with some more. Then I would start doing theaters, do that for a couple months. So be ready in that groove, do the theater, and then record, and then back to workout clubs.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That's a really amazing way of like just crafting.
Yeah, and you make yourself right. He sits there and writes, he records, and just write over it. And
because I know Rogan, he plugs his iPhone.
yeah, I record on my sets.
Do you do?
Yeah, I listen to him. Now I listen to him in like the car, but I try to listen. Neil Brennan does this thing where he listens to it right before he goes on, which I have to try. I've never tried. I'm like, don't you find that makes you like bored with your material, or just kind of rote, or just kind of like stops you from writing new stuff? He goes, no, it helps me write more new stuff. Like I get so sick of it. Like I just heard it going this way, and it makes me think there should be something else there. Then when I get on stage, yeah, just tons of sets. I mark them down if it's like something important, or like where it is. Like this is like the first time I did this cake jeweler joke.
Cool.
So I'll like later when I'm doing it, it's not going well, I'll go back to that first time. Like, how did I say it that first time it came off well?
Is it just sometimes it could be the same joke, but how you say it?
Yeah. The pauses. You say, you're leaving out a certain, especially me, I try to do it in a natural way of talking.
Yeah.
So it's like, sometimes I forget certain words. Like they're important, people aren't getting it because I'm leaving out a word that's good in my head, but I haven't expressed to the crowd.
That must be so hard.
Yeah, so you go
Try to
like, why is
express
this not
yourself that way.
working right? I don't understand it now. So you have to go back and like examine. I remember my friend once was doing this thing and he asked the crowd, somebody from Indiana or somebody from like the country, and he goes, you ever go tipping? And he meant cow tipping.
Yeah.
But I feel like everybody just thought he meant like tipping at a restaurant.
Right.
And I knew in his head he fully understood that, but just the word tipping didn't convey that. And he was like, I don't understand why nobody that. But then we told him, yeah, that makes sense.
For sure.
So there's these words you have to make sure, but you don't want to give out too many words. That just takes too much time.
Because my brother was telling me, Diaz, he's coming out with a special. What's it called?
He was talking about how he wants to his next special. He wants to call it what was it?
Something like.
It was I don't care if you have a restraining order. I'm still gonna kill you. And that's what he wanted to call a special.
Oh, that was.
Yeah, I was listening to his podcast, and
He's always talking, when he gets really mad at people, he's always talking about shooting them in the leg. Motherfuckers don't fuck her, but he says like seriously, I'll fucking get a gun, I'll shoot him in the fucking leg and see what happens.
do you ever listen to his podcast?
I don't listen to podcasts much.
Cause he's interesting. Like
He's super interesting.
He talks about like growing up in North Bergen and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
he's a felon.
Yeah,
he's a felon.
he
He
talks-
can't come to Canada.
Yeah,
And now I'm so bummed about that.
Yeah, he just
like I'll come
won't
down
be
to New
able to.
York just to see
Yeah.
him.
He talked about how his mom died and stuff like that, and how he was tripping on
Acid.
he was tripping on acid when
Came
his
down,
mom
found
died.
her dead.
Yeah,
On
that's-
acid, having to deal with that.
Yeah,
I couldn't-
that's unbelievable.
Yeah. I could not deal with that.
mad flavor.
It was that first episode of 6 Feet Under. Did you ever see that?
No.
First, that the girl was like doing some blow or some meth or something, like, and as soon as she does it, they get the phone call like, "Come on, your dad's dead." He's like, "Whoa, no!"
Oh my
Just
God.
tripping out and having to deal with it.
That's
Oh my
horrible.
Like, this
God.
chemical's through my. The chemical doesn't know, like, hey, it's the wrong time. Go
Yeah.
back. The chemical just keeps going.
Oh yeah, I want to tell you this. When I remember Rogan talking about it, and he was talking about Dr. Drew, talking about people withdrawing off weed.
Oh yeah,
I used to smoke weed every day.
my
and
friends
then-
they got super night virus and stuff. I mean, I like stuff like this. Questions. Let's start going out there. But yeah,
Yeah.
and then what happened when you got off?
I had horrible withdrawal. I couldn't
Nightmares?
sleep. No, not nightmares. I couldn't sleep. I was
Yeah.
throwing up constantly.
Really?